Hello? ¿Por qué no oigo?
Hello.
Oh, sorry. I was on the phone. How you doing?
How are you? Hi,
Very,
Good.
very good. Good seeing you here.
thank you.
Fantastic. So let's see. In a couple of minutes, we will open up. We haven't opened up yet. You're comfortable with working with the system?
Excuse me?
Are you comfortable with the system? All good?
Yeah. All good.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. So how much of the project is sold now?
50%.
50%. Nice. That's right. And when is your occupancy for it? When is the key exchange?
The occupancy of the project right now? No, we are in pre-construction.
Oh, you froze.
We are. You hear me good?
Mm.
I can hear you. I don't know what's happening with her side. So,
Hello.
can you hear me?
Hello? You hear me?
Yeah. We can hear you.
Yeah, I hear you, everybody.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what happened. There you are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. Fantastic. Is Jonathan joining it? Daniel is joining in too?
Daniel's going to be joining in with us too. All right. Oh, we're live. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining in. Sorry, I didn't realize we went live. So Dan's going to join in on here too, and we will get started shortly. We got the amazing Vanessa out in Sunshine State of Florida with us, and she's going to, dive into one of the projects in Florida, and we're going to talk about how a lot of our investors in Toronto are capitalizing on the Florida market, and what it means, and why it could make sense depending on your situation. So, how's the weather out there, Vanessa?
Beautiful, but very, very hot. Very, very hot. Yes, I mean, it's nice, it's beautiful, but the hot things, the hot water, the hot weather is like a little,
Yes.
but it's fine. It's Miami,
That's what we say in February in here when it's really, really cold.
I don't like the cold too much.
I know.
But thank you for inviting me, and thank you for everybody here and for inviting me and invite my project that is a beautiful in Miami. So how we start? We start with the project. How we gonna?
Yeah, so we've hi, by the way, I got in a little bit late. Nice
Hi,
to see
Daniel.
you. Thank you so much. Yes, so we've got the slide deck. John, if you don't mind just putting it up there, that'd be great. And we'll give it maybe a few minutes just so have enough time for people to hop on in and
Okay.
take it from there.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, we were just over there visiting some of the projects there, as yours as well. I'm sure you said it already, but we were melting. Oh my goodness. It was hot. It was nice though. It was nice. I don't take it for granted, but
Have you ever visited Vanessa, Toronto before?
But what? I'm sorry.
Have you visited Toronto before?
Yes, I was in Toronto, and I was in long time ago in the falls
Yes.
Yes, of course. Yes, yes,
Hopefully it
very nice.
wasn't winter time.
Yes, was nice. Was nice. Very nice.
That's good. I'm glad you liked it too. We love it here too. We just
Yeah.
need a scapegoat somewhere for winter time.
Yes.
Hmm.
Okay. Do you guys get a lot of Canadians buying into the projects out there? I'd assume so.
I would think so. I would think there are a lot of Canadians, especially
It's
since
a it's a lot of Canadians right now to buying in Miami, and it's very funny because I start to to connect with Canadians, and people are asking for the project, people are asking for prices, people are coming here. I say, what's going on in Canada?
yes, we are just
Yes.
right above you.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, okay, what's going on in Canada? Something is what happened that I didn't know. Yes, and then you contact me, and I say, okay, Canadian sauce. Something
yes,
is
yes.
is good there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, we get a lot of clients that they are looking to diversify. And the very first place is always Florida. So it's something that we've been working on in Florida market for quite some time. But
Okay.
and now we see a lot more demands. So
Yes.
that's why that was the idea of having a webinar, because like a lot of information we can give it in one shot to a lot of people that you are considering. So it's good. It's good.
Yes. Yes. I mean, the weather is perfect. The weather is nice.
Hmm.
Now in summer, it's
Hmm.
a little hot. No, it's a little no. It's very hot, but people still like it. People still like to come over here and the city, and many
Hmm.
people are coming from Latin America, and they do the investments. And this project
Hmm.
is very good for investors. So
Hmm.
when I want to explain the project, it's very nice for investors. Very
Hmm.
nice because they want to put something here that they don't want to take care of the property.
Yep.
And this is the beauty of the project.
Yeah, I think one of the pain point for a lot of international investors or even other province investors is management. And what you're offering with your project is amazing because that alleviate that pain for clientele.
Yes,
In a sense, they are
yes.
able to hand it over, come as a guest, go as a guest, but have an investment to benefit
And the
from as well.
service and the 5-star hotel, and it's like a you partner of Hilton, and you have
Exactly.
a property there, so you
Yeah.
don't have to do anything. Your
Yeah.
your client don't have to take care of anything about the
Hmm.
Hilton, anything about furniture. If something is wrong in the apartment, nothing.
I wish we had more of that everywhere. My very first experience with that kind of a setting of ownership was in Bahamas, and it's been amazing for my clients there.
Yes,
And now, before there were a lot of properties in Florida that didn't have that option of short-term rentals and that hotel sitting. But now we'll see more and more of that coming out, and
yes,
that's what our market actually needs. They
yes.
don't want to have a full-time property somewhere down south
Yeah, of
because
course.
they're spending
And
6 months there. The rest of it, they
yes,
are.
yes, totally right. And it's a lot of Airbnb in Miami now, but the thing is, the difference between us is because we are Hilton and we have the service of a hotel,
Yes,
and
exactly. It's
that's
a
the
lot
difference.
better. Yeah, 100%. It's a lot
Yes,
better. Like I know the higher caliber clientele, they like to have the ability of going into a hotel rather than their first choice is always a hotel rather than Airbnb.
yes,
Because it's managed professionally rather than individual people managing it. So this
totally
is a
right.
good segue for people that like to have a best of both worlds.
Yes, and it's the first hotel in downtown for 5-star hotel,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and it's near to everything
I know.
that
I
I will
love the
explain in the
location.
presentation.
Yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
Are you gonna put the presentation, or I have to, or you have to
Yes.
No,
let me
we are
know?
gonna
Sorry,
upload it
give
for
us
you.
one moment. We're just
Ah,
having
no, no.
some
Okay, I just want to know.
technical
Okay,
difficulties. Me and Jonathan trying to get it up.
don't worry. Take your time. Take your time.
So bear with us.
No, we are chit chatting while they're in the back end. They are trying to fix things up, to bring
Don't
the
worry about it.
presentation
Okay,
up.
I think it's coming up. You see us with a very serious face. We're trying to get this up, but I think it should be coming
We're
up.
like diligently working to get these slides up. That's really funny. All right, we're all good. You see?
We're good. There you
only
go.
8 minutes
Okay.
too late, but we're good. Let's start.
Awesome.
Okay.
So thank you everyone for joining. We have the lovely Vanessa here, which Vanessa will have you introduce your project just at the end. We got a few slides we'd like to go through first, and we will leave the Q&A for the end of it. So let's get things started. We're talking about Florida. For those of you guys that know us already, we are the Zadigan Group. We're a real estate team here in Toronto, Canada. Pre-Homes is our pre-construction marketplace division that handles all the pre-construction. One thing to note about our team, Ari says it very, very beautifully. We do resale locally, assignments we do nationally, and pre-construction we are global. So across Canada, US, Caribbean, Portugal, Dubai, Mexico as of late. So we are all over the map when it comes to that. And we can say without doubt that we are the only team here in Toronto, at least that we know of, that are servicing pre-construction globally. It's been a great thing for our clients when, they're looking to pivot or they're looking for a different type of investment, different type of asset type. We've been able to help them find what they're looking for.
Now, I'm gonna say this part. Why Florida? I speak from my heart. After certain years in business, working and doing all sorts of investments, you always want to have a property that will give you some personal pleasure as well as the return on your investment. Florida has been very close to my heart. It's a place that it's only 3 hours away, straight flight, twice a day flight to from Toronto to Florida, to whether it's Miami or West Palm Beach or Naples. Miami, it has the maximum number of flights coming on the a weekly basis, which makes it even more accessible. It's one of those markets that for whether you are young and or you're in tech or finance and you can work remotely, or you are getting close to retirement and you're looking for a vacation home or just want to diversify your portfolio, it's going to be a place that will give you that financial and personal pleasure. Let me not talk about the currency. The currency is doing, it's better than Canadian currency. So it's conversion that you do there. It's strong at all times. So it's not converting to a lower grade currency like some of the other places that we carry. US dollar is always strong. Now, what investing in Florida looks like. Typically, when you do invest in Florida, at least for Canadians, is there are a lot of snowbirds or wannabe snowbirds or going through that path that they are looking at eventually have a place to reside in the colder months in Canada, and there is nowhere better than Florida. Also, again, as an aging community, a lot of people, to gather their families, they need to always bribe them in a sense. So it's good to have a place that you will bring the whole family there so they can actually enjoy, and it would be, quote unquote, free for the kids. Also, how does it look like when you are investing in Florida? The numbers are a little bit different that we're going to go through it on the following slides. But all in all, it is a sound and lucrative investment.
Yeah. So, I mean, on that front of what Ari was saying, I mean, there's few different plays really with the Florida market. One, being a snowbird going down in the winter time, or two, using something purely as an investment property that could just be on a short-term rental, which we can dive into the numbers, what you can expect for short-term rental in Miami in specific. Your cap rates are well over 11-12%, which is quite substantial. Now, who invests in Florida? Again, I mean, these could be, it really varies, I would say. It could just be an investor who wants to diversify their portfolio and wants to buy something in another city, maybe somewhere in the US, and has a different play there, which the play could be a short-term rental, or it could be a snowbird who doesn't like the winter in Toronto and just wants to move to Florida in the winter. It really depends on you.
One thing I want to add on, since COVID, a lot of people in finance and in tech, they have opted into working remotely. So there is nowhere better than Florida to have a great weather and still, carry on with the work that you do. So that has opened up a slew of people that you're considering actually Florida as a place, especially in the wintertime, to actually reside there while they're doing their work in Canada. Now, the investment comparison between Ontario and Florida. There are a few key elements that we have. One of them, I'm going to, dissect them in a sense that what is a closing cost and what is the carrying cost. On a closing cost front, in Toronto, let's say instead of Ontario, if it be specific in Toronto, you're looking at 3% if you're on a resale market and about 5 to 6% costs when you're on a pre-con market. In Florida, that would be only around 2 to 3-4%, and that depends on a few different things, whether you're getting a mortgage or not, and where you're buying. When it comes to the closing carrying costs, we have same thing in Toronto. We have the mortgage payments, we've got maintenance fee, and we've got property tax. The maintenance fee is typically calculated on the dollar per square foot at 65 cents to $1, $1.20, depending on the grade of the property. And, property tax is calculated at about 1%. In Florida, the property tax, they are slightly higher. And Vanessa can, chime in on that part. As far as the maintenance fee equivalent in Florida is HOA. Your HOA, when you are in a hotel sitting in Toronto, they are sitting also at $1.25, which we're going to get down to Vanessa's project and see how much it would be, but they are floating around that amount. Yes. So in that sense, they are kind of comparable. One thing that it is different in Florida versus Toronto is the property values. Number one, the range of the pricing that we have. In Toronto, the highest priced property ever listed, not sold, has been $34 million. The highest price in Florida, in Miami, has been, correct me if I'm wrong, has been $120 million.
24. Yes.
$124 million. Thank you. So the range is substantially larger. So it's a different kind of playground, a mix of super elite and the average that you may find. So that it gives the opportunity for all sorts of people to invest in. Also, in terms of the rental of $1 per square foot in Toronto is slightly less than what it is in Miami. In Miami, from what I know, again, Vanessa can correct me on that, for one bedroom, you're looking at $2,500 to $3,200 in, or maybe yes, a bit more. And for two bedroom, you're looking up to $4,500 if you're
yes,
unfurnished. Now,
depends on the area, but yes.
Exactly, if you're getting the average. But in Toronto, one bedroom in Toronto, they're running anywhere between $2,300 to $2,500, and two bedroom, they're about $2,800 to $3,000. So even though you have that investment, your rate of return is higher. But when you do the exact comparison of the size, Florida is slightly cheaper than Toronto. In terms of overall, if you take the best neighborhood of Toronto, and you take the best neighborhood of Florida, of Miami, Toronto is more expensive. So it makes it again more lucrative for Canadians, Torontonians specifically, to invest in Miami.
Yeah.
And one other thing.
Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, just one other thing to touch on the rental side of things is the short-term rental, which Jonathan brought up there a little bit. Short-term rental in Toronto, we have a lot of rules. We got a lot of restrictions. You need to have a license. There are specific requirements you got to meet to get a license. A lot of the buildings in Toronto do not allow short-term rental, or they will have, for example, a 6-month minimum rental term that will be needed. So short-term rental is very, very constricted here in Toronto versus Miami. Things are a little bit more open. And oftentimes, if you're getting into a hotel project, such as the project Vanessa is going to describe, then there could even be opportunity for being put into the hotel rental mix while you're not there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's dive into some numbers on that front too. If this is something that you're purely looking on, say, an investment property, comparing apples to apples, Toronto market versus Florida market. I mean, if we look at the data in terms of short-term rental, first of all, the rules in Toronto, you can only do it for 180 nights. And it's got to be your principal residence if you want to do a short-term rental on your condo unit, as an example. In Florida, you can do it pretty much all year round. There's really no restrictions on that front, which Vanessa can chime in on. But in terms of numbers, if we're looking in Toronto for a 1-bedroom, maybe you're pushing about $250 a night, roughly, for 180 nights. Then the other 6 months that you're going to be renting it out, you would have to figure out how to do a corporate rental of a month stay at minimum,
Yes.
30-night stay at minimum. In Miami, it's a little bit different. If we're talking about revenue, say for a 1-bedroom unit, you're pushing, I would say, on average, at the minimum about 60,000. Per year, at the minimum, at an average daily rate of about $300 a night, depending on obviously whereabouts it is in Miami. But if we talk about the occupancy rates also in Miami for a short-term rental, when we're talking about January, based on the data, January, February, you're pushing about 65 to 75% occupancy rates. As we get into June, July, you're coming a little bit lower to about 57%. But still you're remaining at a good occupancy rate and a good line of revenue if it's something that you purely wanted just for investment. And with some of these projects, you can pick up 1-bedrooms for around $700,000, $750,000. So your cap rates are pretty high. A comparable unit in Toronto, if you're picking up a 1-bedroom for $600,000, you're bringing in roughly, I would say, about $45,000 in Canadian dollar revenue, obviously. So the revenue to what you're buying is going to be substantially higher in Florida, and the rules are less restrictive, right? That's purely on an investment front. Also, it really depends on your situation. If you're if you're one of those people who say, look, I want to basically rent it out during the summer, I want to enjoy Toronto in the summer, and then in the winter I want to rent it out, on short-term rental, then vice versa. You would not want to stay in Toronto in the winter. You'd want to be in Florida in the winter. So then still you can still pump like some pretty good numbers just by renting it out on short-term rental. Now, it's dependent on the building. You want to make sure, obviously, you're getting into a building if that is your play and that's the game plan that you want to go after. You want to make sure that you're getting into a building that does allow short-term rental to begin with, which Vanessa can touch on.
Yes.
Oh.
So now the capital gain tax. One thing, Vanessa, you were asking why so many Canadians now, it's a capital gain tax has been the last punch to push a lot of investors also to explore other areas. Before, our capital gain tax was at 50%. 50% of the gain is always subject to tax, and it will go into the tax bracket that they have. But right now, anything over $250,000, it will be subject to 66.8% of taxes, which is substantially higher than I think anywhere else.
Yes.
Now,
Yes.
especially Florida.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
Florida doesn't have the state tax, but you do have the federal tax, which you can touch on, a little bit. We are not accountants and we are not lawyers. It's always best to seek information from the professionals in the field, but we are talking only high level, so you will be able to have that initiated to initiate those conversations with your accountants. The tax bracket, the capital gain tax in Florida is substantially less. Is it at 10%, 10 to 37%,
10,
around there?
10%,
10%,
15 to 10. Yeah.
10%.
Mhm.
Yeah. So it's a lot less than what we have in here. So your money can stay in your pocket for far longer period of time than in CRA or IRS pocket. So that's another reason that a lot of investors, they are also, if they have been saturated in Toronto or in Ontario, they are now looking to diversify to Florida.
One last
Mhm.
thing before we pass it on to Vanessa. When we're looking at markets outside of Toronto, whether it be Florida or any other market or any other country, one question that we get often is, okay, so I'm opting in for cash flow, but I also want to get growth, right? Because there are some markets that do not grow at the same pace as a metropolitan city like Toronto. So, one thing with Florida in comparison to Toronto, Florida on average, you see about an 8% growth in the marketplace. That's what it's been historically speaking, based on the data. Very comparable numbers to what you're seeing in the Toronto landscape. I mean, Toronto for a condo, we would average about a 7% growth rate in the marketplace per year, spanned over a 10-year period. I mean, typically, in a 10-year period, real estate prices do double, but it's very comparable to what you're going to be getting in the Florida market. Whereas some other sub-markets where you're going to get crazy cap rates, like 15 or 20% cap rates, you're not going to see the same growth, and the money that you're putting there is not going to be safe. Here in Florida, obviously, you're putting your money in Florida, and it's in the U.S. There's nowhere safer than the U.S. or Canada, I would say. But those are two components to really look at. Vanessa, the stage is all yours.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you for being patient.
Thank you. Okay. Let's talk about. Let's talk about. Oh my God. That's what I did. Okay. Okay. Okanta, thank you for joining this seminar. Eh, Talking about Oak Tower, this is a very good product, okay, for the investors that you say that they want something in Miami that they don't have to be here or take care of the apartment for, for a whole the year, okay? I'm going to explain a little bit about the projects. That's the location. The location is fabulous because you are in the middle of downtown. You are in the middle of downtown. You have, of course, 2 blocks from the Quesaya Center. That is where they are doing the shows, the concert, the hits. That is very famous. The games. We are one block from the Miami World Center. I'm gonna explain a little bit, and we are 1 block from the Bright Line. Okay, now is going to Orlando, and then they approved to Tampa. So the location is fabulous. You are right here. You're gonna see the location that is 10 minutes to Wynwood Design District, okay, 25 minutes to the airport, 10 minutes to Brickell, and 25 minutes to the beach. The Miami World Center, okay, is in construction, but it's already, there are shoppings, stores. They're gonna have the Apple, the biggest Apple in the United States. They already invest $12 million in the Apple store that is gonna be finished at 2025. And this investment it's good for the downtown Miami, because if they bring $12 million for Apple store, imagine what's going on with the downtown Miami in the future. Okay, we have transportation. The transportation, we have the international airport. We have the Port of Miami, that is one of the biggest ports in the world. We have the Metro Rail, and we have the Bright Line. The Bright Line, is fabulous because we have 1 block from the Bright Line that you can stay in your apartment, go to Orlando, come back to Orlando, or go to Tampa in the future and come back to your apartment. And it's very easy the transportation. And what is coming to Miami? Miami is gonna have now the signature bridge that is gonna be the icon of the bridge in Miami. Okay, they're gonna connect the 395 that is going to the beach. Okay, with the downtown. Under the bridge, we're gonna have like a Central Park, something like that, that you can walk, you can do exercise, whatever you want, and it's just 5 blocks from Oakland Tower. And then for 4 blocks from Oakland Tower, I don't know if you're familiar with the Flagger. That was the first street in Miami. Flagger is gonna be a pedestrians, and they're gonna have restaurant, theaters, shops, everything there, and it's only 3 blocks from Oakland Tower. Then we have the Bay Walk that is gonna be like you can walk from downtown to Brickell, okay, just in the bay, around the bay. What is a good thing? The events in Miami. Miami have always events. I mean, you never always is events in Miami. We have the Art Basel, we have the Formula Uno, we have the Ultra, we have the Food and Wine Festival, we have the Casella Center, that the concert, the Heat, and it's coming on the 2026, the FIFA, okay, the Copa. And these events all the times in Miami in whole year. So when if you buy an Oakland Tower, that is a condo hotel, one of the part of the building, every time the hotel is gonna be full. I mean, every time it's gonna be like we calculated around 80%, 85% of occupancy, because Miami always have an event. This is the companies that are coming to Miami that is already here. Amazon, like Amazon, Citadel, Microsoft. That is a very good, very huge companies that are already in Miami. Then we have it like a picture, of course, of downtown Miami, and Oakland is right here. Okay, and this is Brickell, and this is all the project that is going to be built in 2030. Then we're going to, I'm going to talk about first for the condo hotel, because the building is component of 3 components: the hotel, the condo hotel, and the residence. Okay, the condo hotel, that is this part. The condo hotel is the very unique in downtown, because it's going to be management by Hilton. Hilton is going to management hold the building, but basically the hotel, the condo hotel. So you can use the apartment you can use the apartment 180 days a year, with a 21 days maximum consecutive. So, and the split of the hotel is 50-50. It's going to be management by the Hilton. The tenants are not, the guests or the owners, they don't have to take care of anything. They're going to be furnished. They're going to be everything you need to take care of the apartment. The Hilton is going to take care. They're going to have all the service of Hilton, like a hotel, 5-star hotel in downtown. This first one. Then we're gonna have a lobby. The Hilton, the condo hotel, management by Hilton, is gonna be separate from the residence. Elevators different, different lobbies, different elevators, different amenities. Everything is gonna be separate. You have the hotel with 24-hour concierge. You have valet parking. You have all the service in the hotel. You're gonna have a bar in the hotel. Then you're gonna have a spa with all the services in the spa. We're gonna have this is gonna be like the how the units gonna be look like. They're gonna be all furniture by the Hilton. The package are the package. You have to buy the package 6 months before the closing. Like we have a studios. The package for the studio of the Hilton furniture is gonna be 25,000. For the 1 bedroom, it's gonna be 35, and for 2 bedrooms, it's gonna be 45,000. We have studios starting in 685. We have 1 bedrooms starting in 1.7. Okay, we have 2 bedrooms starting in 1.6. That is this floor plan is very nice. It's one of the best floor plan that we have, because you have 2 apartments in one. So you have 2 entrances, and you can rent one part of the apartment and you can stay in another one, or vice versa. So it's very convenient for $1.66 million. Then we're gonna jump to the residence. The residence, the residence is gonna be from the 51 floor to the 69 floor. So we have the entrance of the residence. and the hotel. We have separate lobby for the residents. And in the 12th floor, we're gonna have all the amenities. They're gonna have swimming pool. You have services for towel services, for beverage, for rest, for food, everything in the swimming in the pool. And then we have a lounge, a wine room, a gym, and we're gonna have a pool on the 70th floor. That is very nice. A pool deck that is 70th floor. That is gonna be one. Is it the tallest pool on the United States? And then we're gonna have the residents. The residents gonna come with the 11-foot ceiling floor. This is the terrace. This is the bathrooms, and the residents. One bedroom start in 1.1. Okay, two bedroom start in 1.6, and three bedroom, that is the biggest one that we have, is 2.8. This is some of the views that you can see it. South view, northeast. This is west. Okay, here is, I'm going to explain it to you how the structure is, payments is. Right now, we are taking 30% at contract, okay? 10% in the 12th floor, 10% in the top off, and 50% at closing. Then the home association is going to be 99 cents per square foot. That is amazing in Miami because it's not all the projects have 90 cents per square foot. This is because the hotel can assume some of the cost, and this is why it's so cheap, the homeowner association in this building, the condo hotel. That is good for the resident because they can use it for 180 days and they can have it occupancy all whole year. And we estimate like an average for one bedroom in a Hilton downtown 5-star Hilton in Miami is around, for night is around 700. So if you make the numbers, it's gonna be a very good return. And I don't know if you have any questions.
Vanessa,
I've
question
got a
for you.
question for the
Yeah.
residents.
Mhm.
Sorry,
Yes.
Ari.
Yeah,
For the
go.
residences, do they also come? Do they have furnishing packages for the
No,
purely residence
no,
ones too, or no?
no,
Okay.
no. The resident is like a regular residence, like a little
Yeah.
regular condo. It's just the
Mhm.
condo hotel.
Okay. And do they share the amenity of the residences with the rest of the
No,
building? No,
no,
they
no,
have their own.
no.
Okay.
Everything is separate. Of course, the residents can use the restaurants, can use the spa,
Yeah.
can use the amenities of the condo hotel because it's a hotel.
Yeah. Okay. Now, when is there a restriction on number of days? Like it's 6 months is what the residents can use if they are in a hotel mix?
4 month minimum to
Mhm.
rent the residence, and no minimum than 60 days for the
Okay.
residents. The condo
Okay.
hotel is 180 days a year, 21 day consecutive, and it's no blackouts.
No
If
blackouts.
you want to
Okay.
go to the concert or whatever, or the event of Formula Uno, you don't have any blackouts.
Okay. And is there a management fee that is being paid to
99
the
cents per square foot.
Oh, so that's not an HOA. That is the management fee.
No, HOA. Sorry, I can
That's
say
HOA.
yes,
Okay.
HOA.
So if the hotel is managing the property for the other months that you're keeping it rental, how is there a charge for that?
The return is 50%. It's 50-50. See, that is the split. 50 to the
50.
hotel, 50 to the owner. Yes, 50-50.
Just to put a perspective, if it is at the $700 a night, and if you only rent out 20 nights of the 30 nights, you're still generating $14,000 revenue on the property. So,
Yes,
and that is in US dollars. So it's a nice revenue.
yes, it's very nice. We are calculated around 6% return. Depends, depends on the time of the year, because all the time it's events in Miami, and sometimes is the Formula Uno is here in Miami. A hotel, 5-star hotel, can be rented for night $1,000 in a
Yeah,
good hotel, in a
that's right.
5-star hotel. It
That's
depends,
correct.
maybe more.
Mm-hmm.
We are an
Very
average, like we take an average, very, very conservative.
Yes, that's good. That's good. Is there any other question anyone has that you want to take this opportunity to speak?
In
Now,
terms of
Vanessa, if you
closing
can,
costs, yeah, sorry, I was just sorry to cut you off there, John. In terms of closing costs for somebody who's purchasing in this, what is it that they
Okay.
should
Okay,
expect?
the develop in pre-construction, the developer fee for closing costs is 1.75%,
Okay, that's good.
1.7
and you have to put 2 months of for the deposit of the building.
HOA fee.
HOA fee,
Mm.
yes, 2 months.
HOA
Mhm.
fee.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yes,
just
that is
like
like a
the
the treasury of the building, the how do I say? Yes, the HOA for 2 months, and 1.75% developer fee that is cover your closing costs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. That's good. That's good. And what you may call, oh, in terms of the sales, if they are part of the hotel purchase, does it have restriction who they sell it to, enforcing the price or whatnot, or no? It's up
No,
to them.
no
Okay.
restriction. If you
Okay.
want to buy it's like you buy a partnership with Hilton.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay.
And now that also, does that give them the ability to use other Hiltons in other parts of the world?
Until now, we don't have anything from the developer. Probably it's gonna be later something that you can use the Hilton. That is something for the Hilton. Hilton have 126 in 126 cities. So
Yeah.
we don't know yet if we're gonna have a membership or something like that. Until now, it's just Hilton, the resident.
I see. Okay. Fantastic. Fantastic. Any other question
now,
for anyone?
yeah,
Go
I
ahead.
actually have a question in regards to that 6% return. Can you elaborate on that?
I have numbers, but of course I can no disclosure. But we get like a 6%, 5% to 6% if we average a 85% occupancy with a 700 night per night.
Mhm.
Got it. Divided by 2, basically, is what will go to the
Yes,
unit owner.
yes, because you split.
Got it.
Mhm.
Got it. So on 80% occupancy, on got it, averaging about $700
Yeah,
a night.
you have to take out the expenses like is the HOA and the property tax. That the property tax is 1.8% for the whole price of the
1.8%.
yes.
Right. Okay. Now that's $700 a night. Is that for a 2-bedroom unit, or what kind of unit is that for?
1 bedroom.
For a 1-bedroom unit, you guys are averaging about
Yeah,
80%.
it's a concept.
Which
It's concept. I took that number because it's very conservative. Because sometimes it's 1,000, or sometimes it's a little more. Depends
Mhm.
on the
right,
in the time of the year, Because sometimes
right,
in Miami you go to the Ultra Fest and they pay like
right,
$1,000 to 1,500 per night. It's crazy. Miami is a little crazy about the numbers in that thing because sometime of the year when I say events in Miami, many people are coming and the hotels and totally book. And then the good thing in Hilton in the condo hotel is that they're gonna be booking by Hilton, like a suites. It's not gonna be like
right,
a regular hotel room. It's gonna be suites.
right. Yeah,
That is
no,
a
that's
high
great.
standard. It's a high standard of a suites.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, that's great. Yeah, I mean, like one other question I have, and then we got a question in the chat which we'll pull up here. So basically, we're looking at like you see, like one thing for anybody watching this. Typically, with hotels, if you did know this or if you didn't know this, they typically don't want to push 95% occupancy rates, or else they're probably priced too cheap. So sitting around that 80 to 85%, range is where they want to keep it. And even at an 80% occupancy throughout the entire year, that should be minimum $100,000 back to the unit
Mm.
owner, which is quite substantial.
Yes.
If you were to rent it year round, on an Airbnb, it still wouldn't bring that, but because Hilton has their own setup and has got their own infrastructure to bring in those people to stay at that hotel, that's actually really good, and it's actually favorable
Mhm.
on a 50-50.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because you're gonna in the
Mhm.
Hilton, you're gonna book as a master suites. I mean, yes, master suite, and it's gonna be different price, like a regular units. So you're gonna have more possibility to get more money. I mean, in the long run, that's if you rent like a hotel, or you're gonna have also the service of Hilton. It's not going you're not going to an Airbnb in a regular building when you don't have the restaurants, the spa, all the things that you can have in a hotel. That is basically the difference.
Yeah. Okay, so we have a question here in the chat. Does buying property in Florida help get an American PR or citizenship? I don't know if you would know that.
The OCAN, no. The OCAN, no. No, that is the different projects.
So depending on the project, basically.
Yes, depending on the project.
Okay.
Right.
Awesome.
No, it's good. The numbers add up. The numbers look really good. This could be great product, which I'm sure you guys are already seeing with the sales that you guys have done. For people who want to come, whether it be a few months, a year, or they just want to keep it purely as an investment property. It's lucrative for sure.
How long does it typically take for like pre-con projects in Miami to finish condos? Like,
okay, this project is gonna be ready. This project is gonna be ready in 2027 at the beginning. So we already start construction. We already funded, and we are going vertical. We are already vertical. So we're going vertical. Okay. So we estimate that the end of the year we're gonna be in the 12th, or at beginning of the year in the 12th floor.
Okay, perfect. Now, also, you guys don't have the occupancy period. Like in Toronto, in Ontario, is the only place that we have occupancy period. So every pre-construction has got two closing. One is when the unit is ready, not the whole building is ready. So they will give you the key and you pay a rental to the developer till the whole building gets registered. And once it gets registered, at that point, the purchaser will get a mortgage and the final closing happens. The benefits of your projects and all the other projects in Florida is just you don't have that second closing and a monthly rental. You go straight when you give a date, it's an actual final closing.
Yes.
And how are the delays? Like if you say it's 2027, would it go to 2029?
As soon as the building is, no, we're gonna be finished in 2027, but the as soon as they go vertical is fast. It's like for now, I think 2 years, that is 2027. The problem is the permits. The problem in Miami is a lot of reconstruction, a lot of building, and it's too much permits. So the permits take a little longer with one project to another. What depends,
You want problem? Come to Toronto. You will stay in the pipeline for 7 years.
Oh my God.
So you think that's slow? Come here. You will see how slow here it is.
I don't know. Miami is like a crazy,
That's awesome. Well, Thank you so much for all the wonderful information you gave us.
Thank you.
Really exciting project. Really exciting, floor plans. Location is amazing. Numbers are sound, and it's pro investors, which that's something that we wanted to definitely bring out to our investor community. And this is a great opportunity for anyone who would like to invest there.
Yes. Thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you so much,
guys.
Thanks so much for everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, Ari.
Have a good night.
No problem.
Bye-bye.
No problem. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.